This is Independent Sound.
UBC has 11 sister radio stations spread throughout the country to educate, inform, and entertain. Tune in to UBC Radio FM 98, your national radio station, Magic 100, where sports and music is our life. 87.5 Star FM in Uganda, 97.4 UBC West covering Western Uganda, 102 Mega FM in Gulu, 97 FM Butebo Radio in Eastern Uganda, 107.0 Buduri FM, 100.5 Ngea FM in Kasese, 98.0 West Nile FM in Arua, Totore Radio FM 90 in Karamoja, and 93.0 Voice of Mundbujo. Now you're covered in your local language. UBC Radios, inspiring Uganda.
UBC Radio brings you fresh information from different corners of Uganda.
Yeah. Every hour, all day.
I really like it. Stay tuned.
A central role in your life?
Oh yes, for issues that affect your everyday life, don't miss the Gender Forum every Monday, only on UBC Radio, FM 98. The Gender Forum, don't miss.
Hello, good evening. I welcome you to this week's edition of your number one program, The Gender Forum, that's on every Monday evening from 9:15 p.m. till top of the hour when you have our news. Today we're looking at something very, very crucial and sensitive, and that is to do with finances. We all know that topics to do with finances are very, very critical, and we need to pay extra attention when we are talking about them so that you can learn something. We are not experts in this field, but we are only giving our opinions on how you can, build on them or even better your ways of managing finances. So we want to put a very strong stand today on financial discipline, financial management. That is what we bring to you. My name is Morina Katukunda. The Gender Forum is on every Monday. You don't have to miss. It's a platform where we talk about issues that affect ladies and gents in our communities to make this world a better place, because we know that when we try to talk about the nitty-gritties here and there about life, then we'll be able to live peacefully and in harmony with one another. I'm not alone. I'm joined by two wonderful ladies who are going to introduce themselves. Let me start from here.
Hi, dear listener. I'm Maureen Babidia. I'll also be joining in on the topic today on how we can manage our finances better this year.
All right. Thank you, Maureen. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Good evening, listeners. My name is Josephine Luzige. I am a lawyer by profession, and I'm happy to talk to us about the topic today. I also dabble as the founder of a women's saving group, so I'll be happy to share that information with us tonight.
Are those the saving groups where money gets lost around November?
No, Maureen. This one is a saving group called Senteye Chikazi Sako.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. So it's going to be very interesting. You're going to really share us from your personal experience, and we can build on from the things we see happening. But before we can get into all these things, we need to understand what is financial discipline. Yes.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Well, to restrict a definition to financial discipline would be to take on a task unachievable. But in summary, financial discipline is the art of being sane. It's the art of being wise with money. It's the art of knowing what you earn, keeping part of what you earn, and it's basically the art of knowing what to spend, what to save, what to give, what to invest in yourself. It's the art of playing with money for a brighter future or tomorrow.
Okay, and to you, Maureen?
My definition of financial discipline would be when you're in control of the money you're spending in your business.
Does it have to only be business? Because some non-business owners, they earn salary, and that's the only money they have.
Yeah, but most people that are actually salary earners have side hustles. You have to set up a side hustle to survive. Unless you are even stay-at-home mothers, end up with businesses. Maybe they're selling tomatoes, maybe they're doing something that brings in an income, a daily income.
Well, when you talk about financial discipline, it's, in my opinion, the art of apportioning money to different things. So it brings, like, you have, you know how much you're earning, and you know that you have 30 days to receive another salary. That is for people who don't have businesses. Even those with businesses, you should be able to pay yourself.
That's right.
You know,
Yes.
as a business owner, have a portion you pay to yourself, so that you don't have to always pick from your business.
Exactly.
In one of the programs I do, that is the business forum, I always tell people that a business is an entity whereby just because you own a supermarket doesn't mean that if you want salt you go and pick.
Yeah.
If you
Exactly.
want what you
Yes,
get
yes.
sugar. So knowing that business is an entity, and maybe for the salary earners, and maybe for the people, the stay-home mothers, you also have that daily maybe upkeep that a man leaves for you. So it's about how you apportion it.
Yeah.
Some women have said that they have gone ahead to buy land, stay-home mothers.
Yes, they
From
do.
that money that they leave,
Kameza money.
Kameza money. They buy land, they buy motorcycles, they have... and you're wondering, how is she doing it? I think there is that art of apportioning.
Yeah.
So it brings us to what we call budgeting and planning. Take us through that.
So basically, to any listener of this program tonight, I would just communicate that there is nothing like financial discipline without being able to budget and plan for the money you get. Now, there is a quote that says, by failing to plan, you're planning to fail. Now, money, just like life, is not permanent. It comes and it goes. So your ability to budget for your expense today, for your expense tomorrow, for your expense in the future, for unlikely circumstances helps a lot. But then it leads us to the question that what is a budget and what is a financial plan? Budgeting is basically any person's ability to sit down and write down their priorities, your ability to prioritize that, and to know how much you earn. You cannot set out to establish a budget without knowing how much you earn. I'll give an example. Usually when we speak about budgets, it's easy for someone to think that only a country comes up with a budget, because we usually have this yearly budget. But every single person can have the liberty of sitting down and knowing that, look here, Josephine, I earn such an amount by the end of month, or every week my business earns me this much. This is the size of my family. This is what I spend on feeding. So we all have basic needs, things like food, water, electricity. But having a budget is sitting down and putting a list of your priorities. That between 1st January to 30th January, as a mother, my kids are still on the holiday, but in February they are going to go back to school. They'll need shopping of such an amount of money. You put down the amount, for instance, 500,000. I will need, for instance, fuel. You put it down. Then money is very important for any woman out there. Usually we budget. You budget for your kids, you budget for your maid's salary, you budget for your business, you budget for your husband, but never forget you. You know, because financial discipline defeats the purpose if you're not catering for yourself. So in your budget, there has to be that amount of money that is for you: a new handbag, nice nails, new hairstyle, you know, something for you to appreciate yourself, that at the end of the day, this money is money that you're making, so you reward yourself.
Because there are instances where you find that you are working so hard, and as a man, all you're doing is to cater for home things.
Yeah.
And then you find that this man is actually putting on like a very old shirt. Not because he's not working, but he has selflessly put everything in one pool. You know? So I think self-rewarding is very key, because then it motivates you.
That's right.
Many of the times when I have personally been through that situation where I find that I'm actually spending, but I'm not spending anything on myself. Yes. So then at the end of the day, like, why am I even working?
Yeah.
So I think budgeting is key. Just because you're buying yourself a shoe doesn't mean you're wasting money, does it? Yes.
No,
Mom.
it doesn't. Which brings me to the same point.
Yes.
We need to learn to divide our goals, differentiate our goals. We have to have financial goals. But in this, we can have short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. But in short-term goals, we could maybe set aside the same amount of money every month, maybe in an emergency fund. Like maybe if you're from work and you need to go to dinner with the girls, that fund should be able to help you. Maybe you need a new purse, like you said. Maybe you need to buy small household items. That short-term saving fund can help you. With the midterm goals, you could set some money aside for maybe a getaway, maybe a vacation. Some people go on vacation mid-year. It depends on your budget. You could put away some money for holiday presents, maybe Christmas. Maybe you want to buy a new kitten. Now, the long-term goals, you could maybe put some money aside. Maybe you want to have a house, or maybe you have a mortgage to pay off that year, depending on the goals you set. You could pay off student loans. That same plan could be used to maybe save for retirement. I think we can use that to differentiate how we spend our money.
Okay.
Setting financial goals.
Okay, that's very important. Knowing what you're working for at a given time. Because sometimes we are just working aimlessly. But when you have a goal and a target, then you're able to apportion well and put some little money somewhere for investments. Okay, so now that we know what financial discipline or management is, we want to know what we can do to achieve this. Apart from budgeting and planning, what else can we do to achieve this?
Thank you so much, Maureen. This reminds me of when COVID struck. You see, as a country, or as I should say the world, no one ever imagined that there would be a time, a point in time where everyone was home. No one is driving on the road. No one is out of their house. Like, no one imagined that COVID and quarantine were words that would come, and that was a moment that we would now be speaking about. So, leading me to the fact that it's important to have it in mind, that while we want to achieve financial discipline, we need to know that there are times of uncertainty that always come ahead. While you're healthy today, tomorrow you could land yourself in a border accident that could see you crippled and could see you incapacitated and incapable of standing in for your family. So how do we achieve, back to you, Maureen, how do we achieve financial discipline? There are very many ways of achieving financial discipline. The first is by accepting that such times of uncertainty are going to come. You can never plan for good times. And it doesn't have to be COVID. It could be an illness. It could be sudden death, sudden loss of a job. So you achieve financial discipline, apart from budgeting, of course, by sitting down and knowing how much you earn, and when to earn, and when to spend and when not to spend. And then establishing intentional habits like saving. Usually we speak about saving, but it's hard. You may have all this knowledge, but you do not know how to save. And to any lady out there listening, this saving should not only be a virtue that you instill in yourself, but your children too. By buying a saving box and giving it to a child, and they come from a young stage with the mindset that if I have a certain portion of my money, I should keep it somewhere for tomorrow. So saving, it could be a fixed deposit account that helps you achieve financial discipline. It could be a circle, for instance. And by a circle, maybe it's exaggerated, and I should add a good circle. At the beginning today, Maureen, you spoke about the kind of circles where people's money disappears. There are very many here in Kampala. At the end of the year, women have been saving 500,000 shillings per month. December, the chair lady of the circle disappears to Dubai.
Or the husband of the treasurer carries the money away.
You know? So,
Oh God, that would be frustrating.
The husband of the treasurer carries away the box.
and he disappears. So, you must achieve financial discipline by knowing that if this is a circle and we are saving in bank X, you know, people's national IDs have been taken. It's not one person accessing the money, and you're not giving this money to be saved in someone's household under someone's bed. So all those factors help us achieve financial discipline. And maybe lastly, fixed deposit accounts and policies. Now, very many ladies out there don't know this information, but you could walk up to, I don't want to name names, but I'm only exposed to Jubilee Insurance. There is Prudential. There are a lot of things out there
That are helpful.
that are helpful, whereby you enter into a 5-year policy arrangement with I personally may give an example of myself. I believe in policies aside the circles.
Okay.
You have a policy whereby you pay 500,000 shillings per month for the next 5 years,
I have a friend that does that, but it
And
pays off.
and it's good.
After the 5 years, you could end up with your 70 million, 100 million. And it's
Perfect.
tangible money to buy something
Exactly.
meaningful.
So, by establishing a policy, like she says, it's a way of thanking your future self
Yes,
for
for
your
the hard
today
work.
decisions.
Yes.
Yeah. So all those are means that you can use to achieve financial discipline.
That reminds me of the peer pressure. Women, girls, men, you know, there's healthy competition and all that, but avoid thinking you can be like the other person. We're on different timelines. We all achieve different things at different points of time. So be patient, work within your means. What you can't afford, don't get it because someone else has it.
That's right.
There's a wagon of the iPhones now, the expensive purses. If you can't afford it, don't. Because the iPhone comes with different things. You have to pay for the music, you have to pay for this, you have to do this. Yeah, relax, stay in your means, and you know, in the long run.
And right there about comparisons and lack of contentment, let's talk about these people who have just graduated, graduates who are all over. Right now, they are very happy. They are celebrating. They are doing parties here and there. And then what's next?
What next? Yeah.
Now, those kids that have been saving their pocket money and have side hustles, they've been at school. Maybe they have a chapati business. They've had boutiques. Then there are those ones who have just been enjoying life.
Because where are all those jobs going to come from?
Exactly. You've spent all your money. You don't have any business plan. You're just there. They're going back home. I tell you, what else will they do?
Basically, my take is the topic of the recent graduates is actually a wide one. But what next is also a wide question. But with the absence of jobs and the presence of few jobs and the presence of many graduates, but restricting the recent graduates to the topic that we have today, this is all I can tell a recent graduate. Just like she says, calm down. Just like she says, self-comparison and the absence of self-contentment is the thief of joy, is the thief of the future. You are a recent graduate. You're not even a year old in the field, like post-graduation. There is no business you have comparing yourself to a 30-year-old that has spent 4 years in the workforce.
Yes.
No business. Actually, that is like getting a gun and putting it right to your head. You know, we have the generation, they call us the generation Zs, you know.
We're Gen Z.
Yes. There is a tendency of young people, and that is between 20 to 25 or 25 to 30. There is a tendency of looking beyond your plate. Maureen, as we grew up, there are certain virtues that were instilled in us. The virtues of tunula msowaniyo, you know, don't look into daddy's plate or mommy's plate. Yeah, I would just advise a recent graduate to kutunula in your plate. Like, look at what you have before you and use it to broaden your capacity. Self-comparison, do not compare yourself. know that everyone starts small, but what is killing most youths or most graduates is that you've graduated just yesterday from MOOC, you're fresh, you've been released. You want to drive a Mercedes Benz like your boss? Girl, calm down. It takes time. You should be willing to put in the time to get to, to the ultimate prize. And, in the long run, it saves a lot of stuff. It saves diseases. It saves from a lot. Public ridicule, but to the recent graduates, exercise financial discipline, know what you earn and what you spend, and save. 5 years from now, it will be a different story.
All right, so thank you so much, dear ladies that are with me here in studio tonight, and we are talking about financial discipline, financial management. It's important for our homes, for our personal development, and it is something we need to critically talk about, because people admiring and not being contented with what they have has led to many things, has led to people committing crimes, stealing, doing all sorts of things. So it is something that we cannot fail to talk about here on the Gender Forum. But for now, let's go for a very short break. We'll be right back. Don't you touch the dial. And remember, the Gender Forum is on every Monday evening from 9:15 p.m. to 10 p.m. on your number one station, UBC. Don't touch the dial. We'll be right back.
From the horse's mouth,
the Executive Director of Higher Education Students Financing Board, Michael Wanyama, speaks about the Students' Loan Scheme and Scholarship Scheme.
So Higher Education Students Financing Board is a body corporate established by an Act of Parliament in 2014, mainly to fund students who are joining higher learning institutions for both diplomas and degrees and postgraduates. So we do fund students with the loans. We also have a mandate to give them scholarship. At the establishment, we are given two mandates, loans and scholarship. So we deal with the financing of higher education. And largely our main goal is to increase equitable access to higher education with various objectives. We support critical programs that will spur economic development in this country. We support students that don't have the money to fund themselves. And we also ensure regional balance in terms of when we are giving out these loans. We want at least learners from all parts of the Uganda, all parts of the district to have access to higher education. And being a loan, the other big or major objective is also to ensure that this is a revolving fund, implying that when we give you a loan at the end of the day, at the end of the period as we shall discuss it, you must be able to repay so that another learner in a similar situation like yours is able to access this loan.
That was the Executive Director of Higher Education Students Financing Board speaking about the Students' Loan Scheme and Scholarship Scheme.
it's authentic, credible, and direct from the actual source. From the horse's mouths, playing here on UBC Radio. UBC Radio 98 FM in Mukono, Hoima, Masindi, Masaka, Sironko, Kalangala, and Jinja. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
At UBC Radio, all our radio network across the country is committed to inform, entertain, educate, and guide for national transformation.
On radio, UBC should set its own example. Leka bano abatafa ku bantu baffe bagumaza ndowooza muganda kito kugumaza to divert people. Let our own UBC bring programs to educate the people so that abagala kugumaza babeereyo bagumaza naye naffe they can advise, guide. And people in time will judge the one who is their friend and who is just using them.
Tune into UBC Radios for credible socio-economic programs. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
This is UBC Radio, the home of inspiration.
I welcome you back from that short break. I hope you enjoyed it. You're still listening to your number one program, the Gender Forum program on UBC Radio, and it's on every Monday evening from 9:15 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'm joined by two wonderful ladies, Josephine and Maureen, and we are talking about financial discipline and management and its importance and all that comes with it. In the previous episode, we have looked at what financial discipline is, in our opinion, because remember, starting the program, we told you that we are not experts in this field, but we are just giving our layperson's opinion that we feel you can relate with and maybe pick something. But the main point is that you should have some financial discipline and management. We have also looked at the importance of planning and budgeting, apportioning. Then we have looked at some of the habits to adopt, like saving and saving wisely. Saving well in the right channels. Then we have also looked at the dangers of comparisons, lack of self-contentment, and we've advised, especially the grade ones, to be at peace and to take one day at a time and to do the right things.
Yeah.
Small steps can take you very far, but if you want to make huge steps, you might end up tearing apart. So endeavor to take small steps, but intentionally to develop yourself. And we are still moving on with our program today. Now I'd like to ask the ladies with me, where do we draw the boundary between being stingy and being financially sensitive? Because there are situations when you're called upon to maybe contribute towards something, and for you, you're stuck to your budget, you're stuck to your saving, you don't want to release any, you become a problem, because we believe that the society we are in, at some point you have to give out, you have to contribute, you have your corporate social responsibility, you're in an organization, your friend is sick, people are doing a cash round to raise some money for medication, for you have refused because we told you to save. We have yes, you have to buy. We have already set goals, and your goal is to buy land. And when do we draw the line?
That is where the setting goals comes in. Yes, financial goals. You have set your goals. Yes,
you set your goal of buying a car, and people are moving around. They need you to contribute.
That's a mid-term goal. You have to divide these savings. Yes, there are those short-term goals where you maybe need a pet, you need a new pass, you need to do your hair, you need to go on a weekend with the girls, and then those mid-term goals. If you set your goals properly and divide your money well, you won't be able to be stingy. I think, in my opinion, if I had a family now, I'd have 3 types of saving. I'd save for health. I'd set aside money for health. My Kameza money would maybe go to, I'd basically do that for groceries and anything my kids need, ice cream, anything, the fridge department. Then I'd set aside money for, things to do with saving, for that, maybe Chivina, maybe I'm saving with a group of women. If maybe a friend of mine, it'd be really hard for a person who's doing that to be stingy. Your child cannot be sick, and maybe you want to buy a new wig of 1.5, and you'll fail to give the money to the hospital for your child to be well.
Because you want to look good,
yes,
self-love.
You need to divide your money. You can't save money together for one goal. You can have insurance, and you can save money at home in the piggy bank. You can maybe have another piggy bank for your kid. You could set aside that money for your kid's health or whatever they need. Maybe they need to do new braids. Divide your money.
Okay. Until Councillor Josephine.
Mine would basically be about priorities. While it is good to save, it is good to be in touch with reality. Some people have bad manners. I'm calling them bad manners because it's being out of touch with reality.
Okay.
There is no way that you constantly will save a specific amount of money or some like 500,000 shillings, 1 million shillings per month as a family head, as a mother or as a single mother, while certain aspects in your life are lagging.
Yes.
For instance, we spoke about self-investment. There is no reason, Maureen, you'll find me still contributing to a monthly circle of 500,000 shillings per month while I have a torn shoe, while I have a torn shirt, or I am not presentable in the least way possible at my workplace. That is being stingy to yourself, and there are very many people like that. Yes, we advocate that save your money, but don't go around Kampala looking like a disgrace, my sister.
You're working at UBC and you're buying a Rolex. Street food from the other side.
It
I think
actually
it's not.
depends. But self-investment, there should be a minimum yardstick that you should not exceed to kuchisusa, the entire saving thing.
Yeah.
Then secondly, there are aspects like life. And when I talk about life, I mean health of your loved one, of your nuclear family member that is involved. You cannot continue persistently saving, persistently devoting your money to a fixed deposit account while your dear mother is battling cancer and her hospital bill is increasing.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense that your child is sick. They're in school, for instance, boarding school. You've been given a phone call that mommy so and so money on your bank account as your worth.
Fact.
Like monsieur line mitwalo kumi, but your mama's passed. You don't want to be a disgrace around, You don't want to bury your loved one and a week later people are whispering in office corridors, that lady over there, she saves the most. She deliberates upon financial discipline. But the other time at her mother's funeral, people fell in the saucepan of rice, of porridge. It's a shaming. So setting your priorities helps you draw a line between being financially disciplined and stingy. Then lastly, I can't emphasize much on basic needs. Things like education for your child, because you're saving for a new car. As a mother, as a father, other students have reported back to school, but because you have to save for your new car, your kid must wait to report half into the school term, because you're saving for a new car, because you're saving and you must stick to your saving terms, your family goes a night without your car. Where are your priorities? The entire neighborhood has electricity, but because for you're not spending money tonight on umeme.
You strictly say that it's 20,000, and now that
it's even funny.
All the electronics in the house will not operate that day. You buy.
So it's important to know your priorities so that you don't even become a laughing stock. And lastly, contributions. We are part of a greater society. People are getting married, graduations, introductions, wedding ceremony. You to avoid being stingy and to also maintain these friendships. And that's by knowing when to contribute and how much to contribute. For instance, just because you have financial goals and a distant cousin from the village is getting married, that doesn't mean that you're not going to contribute to people's events. We need people at the end of the day. People are also an investment. So you just have to set your priorities and know that I will invest such an amount to people's events. I'll give 100,000. Personally, Maureen, I don't have a family, but when it gets to people's introductions and people's weddings, my dear, my contribution in that group, I don't care if Maureen comes with a contribution of 10 million shillings. I won't even mind if Babire here, brings a contribution of 5 million shillings after my amount, but my standard amount is 50 to 100,000 shillings.
Do your thing.
And that's it. 50 to 100. It is my personal principle because it should not hurt my private. Your event should not hurt my private life, So you set priorities and stand by them. In that, you balance both your relations and your financial life. To avoid being stingy and losing people around you
while maintaining a healthy financial statement.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. You've said it best. I can't put it any better. Then, okay, we now get to people who are now calling us stingy and all that. But there is a category of people who simply cannot get tired of taking from you.
True.
Who have made you their
bank,
their cash cow, who feel that you must take care of their needs. How do you politely say no in such situations?
I think this goes back to having boundaries as a person. You need to have boundaries. If someone, you cannot water into someone's life while they're doing nothing in yours. You have to know your people. At this point in life, you have to know who should I invest in, who has been there for me. There are friends you'll call even at 2 a.m. and tell them my child is sick, and they'll drive to your house. If you are not that kind of person in my life, I am not going to waste money. I can be there for you, but if it's recurrent and it's happening every time, I will withdraw. If it's affecting me financially, socially, we're not connected in any way. Even if it's my birthday, it's a big deal to wish someone a happy birthday. They don't even text you in real life, by the way. These people don't reach out on anything. Maybe it's your kid's birthday, they don't say anything. And then before you know it, a week after your child's birthday, after no contact, they'll be like, you know what, Maureen, I need 100K. I'm in a fix right now. No, thank you.
Basically, for me, I should say that it depends on how you handle people. Your ability to say no, especially in financial matters, is key. But some people find it hard to say no. You know, someone approaches you and they really need the help so urgently. How do you communicate with such a person? I have grown up with a father that was the central financial figure in our homestead. I never had him at a certain point say, no, I am not going to provide. But as an adult, you learn different tactics of keeping people away. If someone gives you a phone call and you may not be willing to help, you don't brush them off and say no. Because like I said, people are an investment. There is a way of rubbing them off in a polite way. For instance, there are certain phrases, this is not the best. For example, you could tell this person, this is not the best time, but we'll see. You know, let me see. Let me put my house in order. I'll get back to you. You know, all those statements are a no that has been masked with a degree of kindness.
What if this person thinks you actually will get back to them?
Then you get back to them with a degree of subtle negativity that, you know, the last time I communicated about this, it's quite impossible. And then there is nothing as beautiful as being frank with a person. You know, you give them a certain portion of what is at your plate and you tell them, I would love to help, but I am currently battling this financial obligation. I am unable to do so. You know, so it's also important for any listener out there tonight to kill this vice. The vice of investing in other people's wallets. It is bad manners to make your budget in other people's wallets. While people out there in Kampala making their small money, for you, you know, at the end of the day, I'll run to Maureen to help me.
How about the relatives that are so entitled?
Exactly. Cutting out those relatives. I attended a conference where a man spoke about how he handles his family members. This is how he said he handles relatives. He says that he sits down his relatives that he takes care of, his parents specifically, and he tells them, Mom and Dad, every month I am going to give you 200,000 shillings. If you're not dying, please know that I have budgeted for 200,000 shillings. The moment you receive it, please.
And then I want to talk about situation.
Yes.
You know, like these are really tough times. People are taking back children to school. The economy is not so friendly. Everyone is working on that very, very strict. But not everyone, definitely. But we are talking about like the majority. We are working on that survival budget.
Yeah.
But then you have this person who keeps calling you. Kindly, if someone tells you that they do not have...
Maureen, you sound like you have first-hand experience.
I just want people to know that if someone tells you, know what, I don't have money today, don't call them tomorrow
Yeah.
just because they actually don't have money today.
Some people
and
don't
then you
get
call
that.
even next week. Then you call, like, you want to keep checking on this person if they finally have money
Those are
to
the
give
bad
you.
manners.
It's not good.
It
Let us all go and look for what? For what to do. Let us all go and look for what to do. Let us all go and strive and work hard, because at the end of the day, we are all meant to work for.
What if it's
our
your baby
needs.
sister? Maybe she's at uni.
It doesn't
It
matter.
depends on
we
who
have
is
to, as
asking.
people, establish the art of
If you are at
listening.
university, you clearly know you don't have a job. Can you work within the small budget you have? How do you expect me to be giving you money for data every week because you want to be on social media? What are you doing on social media? Still, again, in the business forum that I do, we've always told people are always busy but doing nothing. You're always busy, but what you're busy, does it trigger busy doing? Does it trigger money in
Does
your
it
pocket?
add to your
Yes, you're on
wallet?
social media, you're on Snapchat, you're on what? Then you want me to provide for you data, you want me to give you money to go and do a high style on someone's budget.
That's
So
right.
live within your means, and that way you'll be able to even be at peace with others.
True.
So with that, we've come to the end of this wonderful program, the Gender Forum. We've been talking about money, financial management and discipline, and I was joined by two wonderful ladies. I would like them to reintroduce themselves for those who have just tuned in to know who we had tonight. Yes, please.
Hi guys, I'm Maureen Bavidia, and I've been lucky to join in on this show to talk about how to manage our money in our daily lives, and I'm hoping to catch you next time. Thank you for listening.
You're very welcome.
Good evening, listeners. Once again, I've been glad to share with you on financial discipline tonight. My name is Josephine Luzige. I'm a lawyer. And I hope that from our small discussion tonight, you've picked a thing or two on how to be financially sane, financially disciplined, to budget, and to put your house in order as regards your money matters.
Okay, so until next time, we want you to keep a very good financial discipline, to be sensitive when it comes to your money, and to guard your money so well. My name is Morena Katukunda, and I want to thank you, our listener, wherever you are, for being a great part of this program, the Gender Forum on UBC Radio, that's on every Monday after Monday evening from 9:15 p.m. till top of the hour. As we leave you with the news, allow me to appreciate our internal team that we work with to have this program wonderfully aired to you. Our sound controller, Mr. Bachigundu, our programs officer, Mr. Frank Ngamasajage, and our station manager, Madam Smita Allen. Thank you for now. Have a blessed night. Enjoy the news.
This is UBC Radio. Tune in for news.
At UBC Radio, we bring you Uganda's latest news and information.
Focus on Parliament.
What we need to do, the Prime Minister must give us the position before we finalize with the budgeting process.
Enjoy sports. The environment. Politics.
The mission we have is socio-economic transformation.
Health. Entertainment. Updates in education. On the farm. Keep tuned into UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
We believe that we are one, women of Uganda, embracing our rights, women of Uganda, we're equal by right. obwensi kitutasenga mukunoonya wetusoluba singa wabaawo okusengulwa nga wakyali ebuduuda. This is what we want to see the women of Uganda recognize what we do, give a chance to do it. Let my voice be heard. Don't suppress me because I'm female. I am proud to be a woman. Abachara haturi hamwe nitukora munonga bwintunguka nitukundi hangaritu nitukunda usinje omukutera burura kukwija nikwenda abachara mutufeho nito abachara ba Uganda hati twetereine. We are one, women of Uganda, embracing our rights. Women of Uganda, we're equal by right. Women of Uganda, this is what we want now.
Forward ever, backward never. Educate the girl child, empower her to be better. Follow your dreams, nyako ongo yeyo. Dano makipin pagweno koso yeyo. Quality should be for ordinary people. Tuna songa mbele, hot to rooty nyuma, hot to back and nyuma. We're doing it for the zeros. With a fist up, we're grooming tomorrow's heroes.
Dero betuna londa biri kumbina gumu. Twagala baba tatu febe.